I'm delighted to be here at Melbourne City, where we've test driven in the past the I-Pace Jaguar, the Volvo C240. But where I'm standing right now is the proposed showroom for the MG. We are going to today be test driving the MG ZS, which is their entry-level electric vehicle. Very excited to drive this one today. This very much is the entry level for an electric vehicle. So it is a competitor to something like the BYD Atto. Starting price is around that sort of 45 grand mark. So very, very affordable, certainly worth considering if you're looking for that small, entry level, mid-priced SUV. The EV charging port on this car is conveniently located at the front. So if you did have an EV charger at home, you'd be driving in nose first and plugging it straight in. The first thing you notice when you look at this car is the real difference in terms of the actual grille. We have a petrol version in front of us here. So as you can see, you've got much bigger grille in the front, housing of the radiator. And then on the EV, you don't need that. Once again, it's not going through, it's obviously a much different mechanism to the actual petrol. So whereas you have the ability to style the car differently and to do something with this front facade. In this case, MG have just gone for this solid white face and with a small grille underneath it. Nice big MG badge. It's very, very proud, with obviously the charging port just at the front as well. So in the cabin, it looks reasonably roomy. There's quite a bit going on, to be fair. There's a lot of a few bells and whistles we can see in there in terms of the navigation, screen, display, stuff on the steering wheel. This has material seats. I'm generally a fan of the vegan leather. So look, we'll see how comfortable it is. But once again, it seems to be a well-proportioned cockpit, a fair bit of space. So we'll have a look under the hood and see what we've got. Now, what we are expecting is maybe a little bit of storage, a little bit of space. Really easy to get to this one, just a little nozzle at the front. And wow, okay, straight away we can actually see the mechanics of the car. So this is probably the first electric vehicle that we've road tested that we can actually see everything that's going on inside of it. You can see all your liquids and your fluids and all your pipes, but it's very much an electrical setup. Loads of cables, loads of conduits, there's your motors here. I mean, it's very, very interesting. You've got your standard lead acid battery here as well, and then obviously coupled with that would be your lithium, which will be tucked away probably under the floor across the main section of the car itself. But there is a lot of space. It's actually very, very interesting to see the inside of this vehicle. Okay, let's see what it drives like, shall we? Okay, we're inside the car now. So traditionally, you put your foot on the brake, press the start. Now, in this particular car, as you can see, we've got really low battery in terms of 14% range. So it is urgently requiring a charge if we're going to go for a long distance. Today, we're just going to go for a short spin around the back streets of Port Melbourne, and just to see what this car is all about. And we'll see if we can find a charger along the way. There's a lot more obviously to what this car has. Once again, it shows you very clearly what everything does in terms of navigation, radio, shows the charging. We are low, so we're not going to do massive case today. Really easy to connect to Apple or to Android, so very, very quick. In terms of charging, you've got a flatbed charger here, but you've also got your USB charging point as well as your lightning connector too. So it has everything you could possibly want. Really easy in terms of gears, reverse, neutral, or drive, and just pressing this one here to park as well. So it's going to be pretty easy getting away today. Parking and brake here as well. Space for your 2 water bottles in the middle, and ample space around the car as well. So to get going, you just flip this around. I'm now in drive. Disengage your parking brake, and let's get going. So straight away, you get exactly what to expect from an electric vehicle. It's nippy, okay? It literally does have some good performance. It's only, it's not crazy lightning fast, but it's faster than a lot of petrol cars. And to be honest with you, I mean, for a $45,000 car, you're actually pretty impressed with it straight away. It does drive well. It feels actually pretty good. So we're still on a nice straight going over a bridge. So we'll see what happens when we get into the side roads. Alright, so we're just going to go off here now onto a side road, and let's just see how it performs. Going around a corner. Once again, it's solid in execution, so it handles well. The steering is quite light, so you don't get that robust, heavy feel like we would have had in something like a Volvo C240. But once again, it's actually ample. It does what it's supposed to do, right? So, you know, as one would typically do when shooting around town, the kids are at school, let's get some groceries, and we're going to pull out into Woolies. I mean, whilst you're shopping, I mean, you know, it's an ample opportunity to actually charge your car. So what people don't seem to realise, and I suppose one of the biggest concerns a lot of people have with electric vehicles is, you know, what do I do about charging? I mean, like, really, you know, charging is a real issue for me. You know, how do I actually get fuel, get charged into the car? Well, what people don't realise at this stage is there are quite a lot of chargers around. You know, so really we're here now at Woolworths in Fisherman's Bend in Melbourne, which is very close to Melbourne City, Jaguar, Volvo, and now obviously MG. And this Fisherman's Bend actually does have an EV charger, which is absolutely phenomenal. So what's quite odd about this car is once you've pumped the boot, you have to then use your fingers to open it. So maybe there is an actual fault with this particular car or this particular model. You know, once again, my expectations are low, but I would expect it to actually open quite easily, which it doesn't. But there is actually then a surprising amount of boot space. So for a small vehicle, I mean, you can fit a couple suitcases in here, and you can drop the rear seats to give yourself more space as well. So there is pretty much ample space. Immediately you lift this up, you've got a little bit more space there for your charger and maybe for something else here, and it could be a work bag or something else. Once again, no frills, there's no button to press to get your boot down, so you just have to do it the old school way and just pull it down. So in the back seat, look, I'm surprised. So the front seats are quite far back. Two adults, both, you know, and they're sort of high, you know, close to 6 foot. I'm sitting in the front seat, so myself I'm 5'11", and I've still got ample roof space, which is good. So if I was a little bit taller, I'd be comfortable. And these rear seat rests are adjustable, so I can just quickly push it back and get into a nice position. I have got enough space on my knees, and I have got space underneath the seat immediately, so I can sort of put my feet under there, which gives me a little bit of extra space in the back seat too. Once again, there's nothing in the middle here, which means, you know, someone sitting in the middle seat could actually put their feet down and be reasonably comfortable as long as they're very small. And but look, overall, it does what you want. If it's just going to be darting around town and going to see mates on a weekend or going to do some shopping, look, you know, it's comfortable. It has all the space you need. Look, there's no real finesse in terms of the seating. I mean, it doesn't feel luxurious by any means, but it feels substantial. It feels like it's got you covered. You know what? It's enough. It does enough. So the MG ZS EV, drive away around $45,000. Really, 0 to 100, it's claimed to be around 8.2 seconds. So look, it's, you know, it's not the quickest car in the world. It's certainly probably the slowest EV I've driven so far. And at the same token, it does feel like it's a little bit nippy. Its range is 320 kilometers, which isn't too bad. So as an inner city car, it's perfect. And as we highlighted earlier on, you know, you can find public EV chargers absolutely anywhere. There aren't as many as there should be, and we're hoping, you know, our state and federal government can play a part in that by really mandating, you know, that there are more publicly funded chargers available, so people will have less concern about buying an EV. But once again, we're at the Woolworths earlier and we're able to charge up. The warranty on this car is actually very good. It's a 7-year warranty with unlimited kilometers. So that's pretty awesome. The display is not bad at 10.1 inches. The car works on both Apple CarPlay as well as Android. So no matter what device you have, it is actually going to do the job, which is good. Charging on this car is reasonable. On a 7 kilowatt charge, which is a standard home charger, you're going to be able to fully charge it, or at least charge it to 80% if you're starting at 0 in around 8 hours. The charge time with an 11 kilowatt charger is quicker at 5 hours, and if you're lucky enough to come across a supercharger or at least a 50 kilowatt charger, you can charge the car up, to at least 80% from zero in 54 minutes. This MG ZS does have a number of safety features, including autonomous braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist and lane departure warning, automatic high beam headlights, and traffic siren recognition. So you do feel confident when you're behind the wheel, knowing the car has literally got your back and is protecting you. These features are now synonymous with most electric vehicles and brand new vehicles of today, but it's good to see that MG has incorporated them inside of their entry-level EV.